And member for Warringah.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Faster action on climate change is one of the most effective ways of insulating households against rising costs of living. By 2030, Australian families could save $5,000 per year by replacing current cars with EVs, switching natural gas to heating systems to electric heat pumps, and furnishing their electricity with solar from their rooftops. If this shift is embraced now, we could keep track of emissions trajectories in line with our commitment to the Paris Agreement. The largest portion of our domestic emissions comes from our households, some 42.2%. In the US, the Inflation Reduction Act dedicates a great proportion of the funding available to the electrification of households and development of technologies. We know that the EU is also working on similar legislation. Australia needs to match these commitments and the government initiatives to bring down the cost of living, address climate change and drive down economic growth through the transition. We've had quite a few excuses and sort of mitigating words, but we haven't seen a commitment, and that's what's needed because it takes time. And let's get real, there is a race on. The rest of the world is racing with the US around attracting investment and making sure they have that share and are involved in that process of electrifying households. We are simply going to be left behind if we stick with just the current policies. We must do this. We know that there are emerging global supply chains that we just need to be part of, and if members of government want to talk about the Reconstruction Fund, then that has to be being part of the emerging global supply chains around electrifying households. And when I asked the Prime Minister about this in question time a few weeks ago, he blustered that he won't mandate to households what they will use. Well, let's be real. No one is talking about mandating. We are talking about leadership and incentivising. And to be clear, the government, both sides, are already mandating households through building codes. You mandate a connection to gas. It costs great amounts to households to get off gas connections. So let's be really clear to the Australian public about what is actually being mandated at the moment. We know green building standards are desperately needed here. We have inefficient infrastructure accounts for a significant portion of Australia's emissions. We need to improve building standards to maximise efficiency in household insulation and energy systems. State governments have started to step up and to challenge in creating a sustainable built environment. We know that the building stock that we will have in 2050, 50% of it will be built between now and 2050. So our building codes are incredibly relevant to the standard of household and residential stock we have by 2050. The other half of that building stock is existing now and so urgently needs retrofitting, and that is part of what we're urging the government to do. The ACT government is about to mandate that all new homes must meet minimum standards for roof insulation and has already passed legislation to prevent new homes being connected to gas. So I urge other governments to follow suit. The lack of standardisation across all states is preventing substantial gains in reduction of our natural emissions. We need to mandate improved thermal performance in all new homes as a national standard, and that would be a highly effective way of creating a more sustainable urban environment. We need to at least halve our emissions by 2030. Let's get real. The 43% that was legislated by the government is a minimum political standard. If we want a hope of sticking to 1.5 degrees, we need at least halving our emissions by 2030. To do that, we can electrify household appliances and machines, pair this with the production of clean electricity to power them, the clear roadmap to emissions reduction and a safer climate. Over time, we know we can assist households with the absolutely rising costs of living through doing this. And so whilst we have this debate in the media and these accusations towards the Reserve Bank about it, there is an action the government can take. You can take a policy that will reduce inflation and assist households with cost of living. We must electrify homes, and that is an investment of some $12 billion, but it will pay off. And we need to invest in storage. I'll be introducing a private member's bill to mandate a REST, a renewable energy storage target. Do you know that if we provide batteries for 1 in 5 households that have rooftop solar, we will already achieve 30% of our storage needs? So there are the solutions, we can do it, but we do need political will from the government.